I just have to do one thing real quick. Hey, Zoe?
Hi, Tao Tao.
Could you put my phone down for a nap so I can give the audience my full attention?
Yes.
Thanks, Zoe.
You're welcome.
That's Zoe. I'm Tao Tao, and this is a project about staying meaningfully connected to the kids we care about. Zoe lives in Oregon, and I used to see her every week. Now, I'm lucky if I see her once a year. Many of us have Zoes in our lives, kids we care deeply about, but only see on occasion. And while technology can help keep us connected, FaceTime isn't always an option or enough. So, we send gifts, and those gifts can hold a lot of weight. As Che Costello of MoMA says, gifting has largely been my relationship with my nieces and nephews. I'm quite desperate to let them know I care about them and still be somewhat relevant in their lives. A gift, as defined by Merriam Webster, is something voluntarily transferred by one person to another without compensation. It might be used to show favor, honor an occasion, or provide assistance. And it may or may not come with an expectation of reciprocity. People love talking about what makes a good or bad gift or gift giver, but for the purposes of my thesis, a good gift is something that builds a relationship between an adult and a kid. Most modern American gifting takes place within a dyad, that is, a group of two, the smallest possible social group. And today's gifting dyad is deeply embedded within our consumer landscape. Last year, Americans spent $24 billion on gifts, a number that's only expected to go up. There's plenty of literature when it comes to adult gifting dyads, exploring topics such as errors in gift giving, gift card design, and the evolution of gifting registries. However, despite the amount that's produced and spent on gifts for kids, there's little to be found on the subject. I spoke with experts across retail, design, and academia, and I found that neither the short term nor long term goals and effects of gifting to children have been formally studied. Michelle Weinberger, a professor and prolific gift researcher, published a paper last year calling for a new generation of relational gifting research. After sharing my questions with her, she told me, "We don't have an understanding for a lot of these things, the things you're interested in." She didn't say it that way. Michelle's research explores a variety of gift-giving frameworks. In addition to dyads, she writes about gift circuits, more complex ecosystems involving gifts circulating within a larger community. Such circuits harken back to cultures and eras where gifting rituals were and are much more circular and communal. In his book, The Gift, Lewis Hyde writes of the many indigenous cultures in which the value of a gift comes from its movement, not its ownership. A movement, he says, that nourishes the parts of our spirit that extend beyond the individual self. A gift that cannot be given away, he writes, ceases to be a gift. The spirit of a gift is kept alive by its constant donation. Here, it's a gift of social cohesion rather than just a commodity. So, are the gifts we're giving to kids just commodities? Or are we building something that can keep growing? A relationship, a connection, a sense of security, a future memory? Acts of attention rather than objects of accumulation? Today, I'll be sharing 3 design interventions. Each explores the concept of a gift in its own way, yet all are intended to nurture a relationship, whether that relationship takes place in person, apart, or both. Placed within the existing kids' gift landscape, I'm aiming for this upper right quadrant, something that involves the gift giver's active involvement and offers infinite, ongoing interactions with the kid. My explorations began with when an adult and kid are together in person. But physical presence is only one kind. Our attention is more splintered than ever, with one outsized culprit. So, meet Bunky, a bunk bed for smartphones. Bunky began as a provocation, a place to tuck your phone in, but became something more, a site of shared play and accountability. I built and sent prototypes home with a few families, curious for feedback. One parent told me she found the bed a helpful physical reminder of her goal to be more present with family and that it could be a useful tradition, especially when kids get their first phones. Another said his partner wasn't ready to give up her phone. And Amelia here, well, I'll let the giggles speak for themselves.
I'll put that on the bed.
Okay.
That goes in here. Then put it in here. Put it.
However, there was a hitch. I didn't want Bunky to become yet another novelty turned abandoned object. The goal wasn't just less screen time, it was a more ongoing ritual that might support mutual attention and care. So, I did more sketches and prototyping, and I changed Bunky from a prefab object into a DIY kit. Now, the first step is a shared activity building and decorating, customizing it as yours. I also added a series of storybooks about phones and other creatures who need a nap. This way, Bunky can become a part of, or catalyst for, story time. Let's take a look. With Bunky, your gift is attention and presence. Next, I shifted my focus to those kids who aren't in our immediate orbit. To gather more insight, I brought together a group of adults in their 30s and 40s without kids, but with important Zoes in their lives. Through a set of guided activities, we explored the full spectrum of choosing and giving a gift to a kid. What emerged was a process that often felt high stress and high stakes. What if they see you as old and out of touch? What if their parents don't like what you've chosen? What if choosing a gift highlights your lack of relationship? But participants also expressed beautiful sentiments around what they hope their gifts might bring. One wrote that he wants to give something that shows them that they deserve attention and time, something validating. Another said that a meaningful gift is one that says, I see you, I love you, that gives someone permission, an invitation. To me, they were describing things that can only really be achieved through time spent together. So, how might we give the gift of time? My second project, Make a Holiday, is an app that helps you gift a future memory, making time visible and committing to it. Here's how it works. Kinza has a 7-year-old niece, Saba, whose birthday is coming up in June. But Kinza doesn't want to ship something halfway across the world that her niece might not even like. Plus, Saba's coming to visit in September. So, she goes to Make a Holiday and puts together a special day for her and Saba to celebrate when she's in New York. She puts in Saba's favorite animal, dinosaurs, and favorite food, donuts, and is provided with a few name ideas. If she'd like, she can get help planning Dinos and Donuts Day activities. Then she selects an invitation and sends it off to her sister and niece. With Make a Holiday, your gift is time and future tradition. But what about the time in between Thanksgiving and Dinos and Donuts Day? What about the ordinary, ongoing threads that keep a relationship alive, even from a distance? These questions led me to my third and final project, Pencil Pals, a guided drawing exchange by mail. I started by testing the concept with my 6-year-old neighbor, Jonas, who may look familiar. Initially, I had us both draw the same prompt, a castle full of your favorite animals, but I immediately realized it would be much more fun for him to come up with his own. So, after asking him to draw all his favorite foods, he sent back his own prompt: Mr. TV watching TV. And from there, we kept going, creating a loop of shared curiosity, anticipation, and imagination that 2 months later is still going. But what kind of relationship were my drawing prompts prompting? And how might these prompts be tailored to a kid's age, personality, interests, and needs? What does a kid need from an adult? And what does an adult need from a kid? A kid's life is hopefully full of multiple adult relationships, each unique and distinct, whether it's with the neighbor, a grandparent, a godparent, former babysitter, teacher, or second cousin once removed. What if there were prompts designed to support the needs and goals behind various types of relationships? To figure this out would take much more time, testing, and expertise than I had available, but some things I could do. 1. Enlist Jonas's help to write more prompts for others to draw. 2. Create a website to workshop effective messaging and share the concept with potential users. And 3. Stage a pop-up to gather feedback and send out more prototypes. After the pop-up, looking at all my leftover materials, I realized there were a lot of big kid relationships in my life that could use some prompting. So I drew more magic hot dogs and flying shoes, and I sent 36 mini pencil pal kits to aunts, uncles, high school friends, former colleagues, and budding acquaintances. I was curious, how many drawings would I get back? And what prompts would people give me? Soon enough, blue envelopes began appearing, and one of the first to arrive was from my cousin Marion's 11-year-old daughter, Isla. I've met Isla once, maybe twice. I'm not sure she really knows who I am. But if family is measured in blood, then Isla is the closest thing I have to a niece. Isla drew telekinesis as her ideal superpower and asked me to draw my favorite food. And she added a note saying she can't wait to see what I send back. And that right there is the most relationship that she and I have ever had. These drawings reminded me that meaningful relationships are hard to maintain at any age. Without prompting, they grow stagnant. And ultimately, our relationships are where we find meaning, make sense of ourselves, and make sense of the world.
Hi, Tao Tao.
Oh, hey Zoe, you're back.
Are you gonna thank me?
Or me? Hey!
All right, all right. I was just about to thank all of you. These explorations and this joy would never have been possible without my phenomenal faculty, classmates, friends, and mentors, but especially my parents, who never bought me what I wanted, but always gave me the gifts of time and attention. Thank you.
How many people would want a bunkie to give as a gift? Yeah, how many people would want it for themselves? Yeah. This started so small and got so big. Really, really wonderful. And the last piece of design is like my favorite kind of design. It's like made of nothing. It's made of like paper and pencils and a stamp. I'm wondering, you did like lots of prompts back and forth. Some takeaways, big and small?
Yeah. So my thesis advisor, Alex, really helped me identify the prompt as the heart, the kernel of that project. And the more I thought about it, the more I was just like, there's so much to unpack here. And I think as I sent prompts out to friends and people I know, um, the harder the prompt and the more it made you sort of think, I think the slower it's going to come back. I think one takeaway is that you can learn something about someone no matter what they draw, whether it's like an octopus juggling bananas or your dream job. But I think someone is going to have a lot more hesitation drawing their dream job than an octopus juggling bananas. So, just like one little insight into, is this just a fun thing they're going to draw, or am I prompting them to think about like the future or a dream or something like that?
I mean, it was really moving when you had said and written, this is the most relationship we've ever had. Really remarkable. So,
It's true. That is, like,
yeah. The project's going to move forward, presumably.
well, I now have 2 pencil pals, so I've gotta
Maybe a
keep it
bunch
up with
more.
them,
Yeah,
and a lot more one-time pencil pals. I don't know, let me know if you wanna keep it going. And yeah, I hope to keep exploring in one way or another.
that's great. I think we might have to put this date to bed. Yes?
I think
All
so.
right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.